Welcome to A Drink of Wisdom with Nathan Drinkard. I'm Jay Wise. Thanks for spending some of your time with us. As a reminder to all our great listeners, we're on Anchor, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify. If you're looking for us in the video format, and why wouldn't you? You can find us at the A Drink of Wisdom YouTube channel. Drink, fantastic to be back with you.
Hey, look, like you said, Jay, why wouldn't you look us up? Why wouldn't you give us a shot? You know what I'm saying? But with that said, man, how everything with you?
It's going well, man. Going well. Thought I was, caught up in some nonsense earlier this week, but we got it straightened out and we're back to the grind.
Hey, we're a no nonsense zone. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and get this ready because you know what we gonna do. We're gonna see what they don't. We're gonna say what they want. It's almost dinner time. Set your plates. And last but not least, let's talk some sports, baby. Let's roll.
All right, episode 69. Which NBA player do you want in a do or die game 7? We'll give you our picks, plus the college football preseason poll, the coaches poll that is out. And how about a baseball mascot? Never thought we'd do it, but we have baseball mascot news. We'll break it down for you later. We'll begin with the Los Angeles Lakers, and we're going to go back to what they've done this offseason. They've done a lot. They've lost, I think, more than about half the team. They made a big trade for Russell Westbrook. Carmelo Anthony has joined the fray. Dwight Howard's back in town. But they did lose some key components with some of your role players and Alex Caruso and KCP. Kyle Kuzma gone in that Russell Westbrook trade. And don't forget about guys like Markieff Morris and Dennis Schroeder. Drink, the question is quite simple. How do you assess the Los Angeles Lakers at this particular moment in time? Are they better do you think they'll wind up better than last year's club, or do you think they're worse off?
Well, to answer the first question, I think they'll end the season better. I think as of right now, as you look at it on paper, the team got significantly more older. We got some players that dare I say, the likes of Carmelo Anthony, players like that was once almost out of the NBA, and then they made their way back in. A lot of players that you could probably consider on the downhill of their career, the Trevor Ariza's, the Dwight Howards. Even if you want to, Ken Bazemore. Like, when the last time we really talked about him? However, with that said, I'm optimistic. I think about the situation with the glass half full. Now in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I wasn't, perplexed when they traded for Russell Westbrook. I didn't quite understand it at the time. I'm like, can't shoot well, knees going bad. He's kind of bad at gauging the temperature of the room. He high energy. I love it, but it's just too. It might be too much because I thought, do the Lakers got a guy on the team that can, hey Westbrook, you gotta knock it off. But then I thought about it. I said, well, hell, they do got a dude on the team that could tell him to knock it off. And then I thought, last year Westbrook, he averaged a triple double with the Wizards. And I know it's the Wizards. I ain't gonna be talking like the Wizards, too crazy, but it's the Wizards. And it's still an NBA team, and he still played the NBA season, and he averaged a triple double. So it got me to thinking. The number one thing with LeBron is this: he's coming in the season 19, 18, 19, one of the two. He's old, man. Let's just call it what it is. LeBron is old. In basketball terms, he's an old man. And you think about his Robin up to this point, AD. He's super brittle. He need a handicap sign. So why not go out and get a guy? Okay, let me ask you this. What makes a player legendary in today's NBA?
It's championships. One of the first words that come to mind for me.
What is the only thing Russell Westbrook really needs to put a cap on his Hall of Fame career?
It'd be a ring. He needs a ring, I think.
I think this is by far the best opportunity Westbrook is going to get. I think he knows that. And when I listened to him in his introductory press conference with the Lakers, I left that press conference thinking, I think this can work. I think this can work. You know why? Because I looked at it like when Dwight Howard came, 2 years ago, right? Remember, people, Dwight Howard, he gonna come in. Is he humble enough? Will he be a distraction? Will he know how to play his role? And then Dwight Howard came in and played his role. They won a championship. One of many pieces to the championship, but he was one of those guys that people thought he was gonna come in there and act a fool, and he didn't. If you give me that from Russell Westbrook, just come and play, oh, this team is better. And I'm just talking about just Westbrook. If he just comes to play, yeah, this team is better. Now, let me ask you this. Which player did the Lakers lose that was better than Russell Westbrook?
Well, that's easy. No one.
Right. So, with that said, when I look at the key departures, I'm like, I mean, they didn't lose anybody that was better than Westbrook. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Well, so now you say to yourself, okay, so that's Westbrook. So what about the Trevor Ariza's of the world? What about Kent Bazemore and Wayne Ellington and Malik Monk and Kendrick Nunn? So here, let me focus on Wayne Ellington, Malik Monk, and Kendrick Nunn. Go back and look at their shooting percentage, and then go back and look at all the players that the Lakers lost, and give me 3 better shooters that the Lakers lost than the 3 shooters they just signed to the roster.
I can't. I don't think I can. So I'm not going to bother.
So when you start breaking this, when you start minimizing it a little bit, so you take it from the overall picture and you start breaking it down into little boxes. Yes, the Lakers got older, but they still upgraded in those areas. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, Westbrook is older than Caruso, and he's older than Dennis Schroeder. I got that. But he's better than both of those. He's more experienced than both of those. He done more than both of those guys. So when you tell me the team got older, I can tell you the team got more experience and better if you really want to talk about it. Because let's be real here. From what I've seen out of Schroeder and from what I know about Caruso, I like Caruso a lot. But put both of them together, they ain't adding up to no Westbrook. Let's keep it real. They ain't adding up to no Westbrook. They're just not. And then when you say, oh, well, they gave away, not gave away. They traded away Kyle Kuzma. He was a cornerstone of what? What was Kyle Kuzma? A cornerstone of what? He got a ring.
The corner.
Right. The cornerstone of the corner. Yeah, you're right. But what in the hell is he going to complain about? He got a ring. Let's be real here. Any one of those guys that would have got left out of that Anthony Davis deal would have been happened to be the one left out of the Anthony Davis deal. That happened to be Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma got hooked up. I'm not going to say he didn't do anything during his time with the Lakers, but by God, if he had done more, he wouldn't have got traded this offseason. There's no way the Lakers just going to let prime real estate, young real estate, leave the city just to get back an older player. But let's be real, Kyle Kuzma has not cut the cheese. He has not. Then I hear people say, well, KCP, he came up so big in that championship run. He did. I can say the same thing about Alex Caruso. I could probably say some of that to the extent to Kyle Kuzma. But, yeah, he did. He did it. So what? What about it? Well, they might need him. For what? I can get that. What KCP did, I can get that out of Trevor Ariza. Now stop me when I'm lying. I can get that same what KCP did out of Trevor Ariza, and I'm gonna get the experience. And I'm not gonna get some dude that's gonna freeze up and get shaken out of nowhere. So I'm looking at that. I think that's an upgrade, right? So now the starting five, I think the starting five shows something like Westbrook, THT, LeBron, AD. They saying AD will start at the 4 and Gasol will start at the 5. I think I do want to see THT do a little more, but I think that starting 5 is better than what they had last year. At me. I think that starting 5 is better. So with everything that's said, I do think the Lakers got better. I just think it takes time to actually sit down and break down the talent, and then I can't argue about them getting older. They got old as crap, but I think they got better. And to cut this short, I think Rob Pelinka deserves a lot of credit. Rob, man, let me tell you something. I don't know what Rob Pelinka is telling these dudes in these meetings, but when it's all said and done, he gonna have to go around and start giving seminars or something, because this dude is out here. He make Kendrick.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got Kendrick Nunn and Malik Monk to agree. Like, I got it. If you want to tell me Malik Monk, that's probably where he needs to be at. He's still young, though, man. He still got a chance to catch fire and make a name for himself. Kendrick Nunn, we know who Kendrick Nunn is.
Yeah.
We done seen Kendrick Nunn do a little work out here. So, for him to get those two younger players to agree to their 1-year deals, then you bring in another shooter like Wayne Ellington. Like, he's been in the league for a while, but he's still a pretty good three-point shooter, you know. And Bazemore, you know, honestly, I kind of look at Bazemore and Trevor Ariza kind of the same, but Trevor Ariza got the resume, Bazemore don't. But with that said, it's just like I'm looking at these names that left. Hey, see you later, Andre Drummond. Hey, Harold, you was cool, but we're going to holler at you. McLemore, Morris, you know what I'm saying? Like, the only two dudes that left, and honestly, I take that back. The only one guy, is Alex Caruso. He's the only one that left, and I was kind of like, I don't know about that one, man. I think they should have kept Caruso. But now, when they get done doing free agency, I'm like, yeah, man, you know, Caruso, man, he was good to go, man. But, you know, he got the bag. He going to do his thing. You know, much luck to him. So, with everything said, man, I think the Lakers are better. Now, we do need to see them play. But I do think if it's one player that can get them all together and make them work, it's LeBron, right? So with that said, I think the Lakers better, man. And if I gotta go out on a limb, and if I had to bet everything right now, I would say this team is better than last year. And if they stay healthy, right? If they stay healthy, this is definitely an NBA Finals team. Cause let me go and make this clear before we get off this subject. What Western Conference team made a better roster to compete with this Lakers team if they stay healthy? And I'm gonna end on that note. Over to you, Jay.
Yeah, I won't go in that. I won't go in that direction. I am going to say, I think I want to give you an important level of nuance here to this subject, because the Lakers, obviously, the season ended prematurely because of injuries. I think we both agree on that. So when I'm thinking about will they be better about last year, I'm thinking about a team that I thought the Lakers with AD healthy, because remember they was up 2-1 against Phoenix in the first round. If AD stays healthy, their Western Conference Finals at minimum, and I think likely they get to NBA Finals. So I'm almost thinking like if the argument is, yeah, they're not going to get bounced in the first round. I think that's true. I think I would agree with that. I don't think a team with this much talent, especially this new big three that they have, which I think is the best three players in basketball. I think it's better than what Brooklyn accumulated last year. So if you're saying they're going to make it past first round, got it. I think so. But I still view last year's Laker team as a team that likely deserved to be in the NBA Finals. I think they were good enough. And I don't think, especially when you look around at, you know, kind of how the Clippers was struggling at times. The Nuggets just, you know, Jamal Murray not healthy, that type of thing. I think the Lakers, before AD got hurt, were poised to make a run back to the finals. So when I think about that, when I think at it in that light, I'm less sold on this team getting back to the finals, and it's for a couple reasons. One of them is definitely age. I mean, I don't know if I'm correct because I haven't looked at it yet. But I'd be surprised if you could find me an older NBA roster. And not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's one thing to have an old roster. It's one thing to have like about everybody that's old is going to be relied on pretty heavily. Carmelo at 37, LeBron at 36, Gasol at 36, Ariza 36, Dwight Howard 35, Ellington 33, Westbrook 32. Those are all key guys, and they're all not your whole big three, but LeBron, obviously at an advanced age, year 18, is it going to be 19, whatever it is. Westbrook, you gotta believe his game is not going to age particularly well. And then of course, AD still, in the prime of his life, but he just, we know the book on AD. And I think in the end, if it comes down really simple, it's gonna be determined on AD's health. I think you can make an argument that the Lakers have a title with AD because he was healthy. If he's not healthy during the bubble run, I don't think they don't win that title.
True, facts. I do, but with that said, on that point you just made, I think this team can win more games with a banged up AD with this current roster, than they could have in the past two teams. Without
I think
AD.
that's fair.
Is better constricted.
I think that's fair. And obviously the most easy point is when you add Russell Westbrook to this team, that I obviously think in the end they will be better. And I definitely think the way I see the Lakers this year is like they're so new. I mean, we was going through before the show and we was talking, man, who they even got? Like, I know they got LeBron and AD, but who coming back? So we know they signed THT to, that whatever deal he got. And I like THT, and he showed a lot of promise last year. But you know how I feel about Marc Gasol. Like, really, like and he's like, we're looking at him as like starter material. Like, I'm like, come on, put Dwight Howard in. Let's see if he can, give me some heavy minutes. But I'm not enamored with
the 3-point shooting 5 first.
Oh my Lord. Okay. All right. But I ain't been loving Gasol for quite a while now. But then you look at the age, like you might have to look at this team and make sure if the AARP memberships are valid. I mean, that's the type of age we're talking about. Now, I do like the young moves that they made, bringing back THT. Malik Monk, he didn't really pop for you in Charlotte, but maybe this is the change of scenery he needs, But he seemed like the dude when I remember him in his Kentucky days, because it was him and De'Aaron Fox, and what a fun backcourt to watch back then in Kentucky. He seemed like a guy that like would thrive under the bright light. So I'm kind of interested to see how he does. But obviously, I think the Kendrick Nunn signing is a great one. And we saw what he could do with Miami. We saw how he just, came out the gate blazing with the Miami Heat. And don't forget about that group of three just young guns they had with Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, and Duncan Robinson. I think you can make an argument that the Lakers got the best one. And it really is kind of remarkable, like with a team that is going, so many veterans that they got. And it's like, man, what they get? They got any young people? Because like it's just, man, they over here with the nursing home of players, So, but they got like, I think Kendrick Nunn is going to be really important to this team. And the way I see the Lakers this year, I think they're going to have some growing pains early on. It's just I'm looking at them and I'm saying it's hard to believe that you could really only have 4 players from last year's team, assuming they don't bring back a Wes Matthews or another guy like that. But assuming that's all they're going to bring back, that seems just like too many dudes to bring back to like incorporate and be like humming, really early in the season. So I think they're going to struggle at least for a couple months. I think they do turn it on as long as they're healthy. I think they turn it on and they finish really, really strong. I think they'll be a top 4 seed in the end. But in the playoffs, I'm concerned about them in the playoffs because you know how it is with me in certain, like, it's all about fit and it's all about how do you match up. And I really think it's going to be difficult, especially I think it goes to Russell Westbrook because him and LeBron are such like similar players and like they both like need the ball in their hands. LeBron as he has aged, he's become more of a consistent shooter from distance. But we know Westbrook's shot has, it continues to deteriorate. And I'm looking at both of those guys. In order for them to, operate at maximum efficiency, they need space. They need guys that can hit shots. So, I don't really, in the playoffs, I'm not loving both of them on the court together. I hope Frank Vogel can really stagger their minutes creatively. I talked to you last week about this. I really would like to see Westbrook lead the bench crew. Like if you remove all the starters and you run the bench in there, keep Westbrook in there, let him push with those guys. I think he'd be highly effective at doing that. So I think there is a way and there is a path and they're certainly talented enough, but the it's going to come down to like, can they stay healthy? Because they're going to need to be healthy to make sure all these parts are gelling together. We saw what Brooklyn. That's what ended up costing Brooklyn. They had a lot of new pieces, and they couldn't play enough together. Then the injuries. So that's kind of what happened. But I do absolutely think the combination of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook is a better, and it's close, but I think it's better than KD, James Harden, or Kyrie Irving. Of course, that's going to serve you well. And last quick point, you talk about Rob Pelinka, and I'll agree with you. I think, I don't 100% love everything he's done, but he's done a well of the job. It's gotten you a championship. And you remember when Rob Pelinka took over, there was a lot of questions. But I'm going to tell you, this was Kobe's guy, and I think Kobe was right.